up, everybody? It's your boy DV, aka the Budget Enthusiast, and today I'm just going to talk a little bit about Spiral, the Book of Saw. I just saw this recently, and it's pretty good. I liked it. I know other people in my party didn't like it, but I liked it. I thought that it did a lot of things that the Saw movies typically would do. The only thing different from this one is that it doesn't have an ensemble group of people that the protagonist needs to save. That's the only real difference. Everything else is just like a Saw movie. This one's directed by Darren Lynn Bousman, and he directed Saw 2, which is my personal favorite. Now, this one looks totally different than the rest of the Saw movies. Most of the Saw movies have that gritty, grimy, gross looking, like you get tetanus just watching it type cinematography, but this one actually looks nice and sharp, sort of like Jigsaw, the last Saw movie that came out. That one was crisp and clean. I had that on 4K Blu-ray. Man, that thing, it's beautiful. Like, I've never heard of a Saw movie being beautiful, but that actually looks really nice. So this one, I like it. The only thing about it that really gets me is I just can't believe Chris Rock as a hard-nosed cop yet. Like, some of his one-liners and stuff like that really just took me out of him being a hardcore cop, and it was just kind of weird. And some of his acting was a little bit shaky in certain parts. Like, he doesn't play a believable scared person. Like, when tragedy happens, the looks on his face just don't sit well with me. It was weird. But also, Sam Jackson is in this movie, and he plays Chris Rock's dad. I repeat, he plays Chris Rock's dad. Like, it was, I don't know. Those two characters didn't necessarily work for me. I liked in the first Saw Danny Glover's character. Now, if Danny Glover's character was still alive, spoiler alert if you haven't seen the very first Saw, which if you haven't, it's a little too late for that now. But Danny Glover's character, if he was Chris Rock's dad and was the hard-nosed, chief of police type dude, yeah, I could get that. But Sam Jackson just didn't seem right. Just didn't seem right at all. So, I would say it was pretty good. It's not my favorite Saw movie, but it's not the worst of the Saw movies. A lot of things were well done in this that were different from the other movies, and some of those were not well done at all. As far as the Jigsaw type traps, the traps were okay. I like the traps better in a lot of the other movies. Like I said, Saw 2 was my absolute favorite. And the traps they had in there actually were really good. Like the hypodermic needle scene when she got tossed into the needles, bruh, I'm trying to tell you, like I was itching for weeks just thinking about that. It was so horrifying, but I loved it. Later on in the Saw movies, they just had like gross out traps versus smart, thoughtful traps. This one kind of was an in-betweener. I mean, some of them were kind of, well, I take that back. No, I didn't like the traps too much in this one here. They didn't sit too well with me either. So all in all, I would say it's a decent Saw movie. I enjoyed it. Like, I didn't leave the theater like, no, that wasn't worth the time. I think it was worth the time. I'm gonna buy it and add it to the collection, to the other Saw movies that I have back here. I will watch it again, maybe twice, 3 times, but there are definitely better Saw movies, and there are definitely better believable cops that they could have chosen instead of Chris Rock to play that part. But I would say if you have AMC's A-List, which I highly recommend if you live near an AMC, I would say check it out. Or if you have to pay for it, I probably would just wait until at least it hits Netflix, or maybe a rent to own, like a pay-per-view type thing where you can rent it for maybe $3.99 or something. I don't know if I would pay the full $10-12 that it costs to go to the movie theaters nowadays, but hey, I mean, what do I know? I have A-List, so I can go see all types of random stuff. And what's cool is I can do reviews for them just like I'm doing right now without you guys having to spend any money. But I would say if you have the means to check it out, check it out. It's a, you know, something to watch nowadays. You know, we don't really have too much content going on as far as like in the theater, so this is like one of the big ones. This one and like Godzilla versus Kong and stuff like that are still lurking in the theaters, so that may be something for you to check out. I think I'm gonna give Spiral from the Book of Saw. Let's see, what should I do? I'm gonna say check it out. So I'll go ahead and give it the single thumb seal of approval from DV, aka the Budget Enthusiast. I'll give it the single thumbs up to go check it out. Normally if I do 2, that means you gotta go do it soon. But the single thumbs up would simply mean that, hey, if you see it in the theater, that's cool. If you don't, you can watch it on Netflix or, you know, pay-per-view or something like that. You know, whatever. But if you are a fan of the Saw movies, I would say it's worth watching because it at least will travel down the mythos of some of the other stuff that has been done in the past. You know, in Jigsaw, he's going to live on forever. They're going to be like 20 other movies that are going to show up, you know, later on down the line. And you know what? I'm going to be there to watch all of them. I can't try to tell you that I'm not. So I would say, yeah, single thumbs up, seal of approval. Go check it out if you can. So thanks a lot for joining me today. This is DV, the Budget Enthusiast. Hopefully everybody has a safe trip out there in this world. Mask up. Even though you're vaccinated, still a good practice to have. So y'all take it easy. Peace.